I can't wait to see how small the cameras are. Today we're going to be taking a look at the iPhone 11 Pro. Now I picked this thing up off eBay for like 200 bucks. Come on. God, Jesus. Alright, whatever. Now, to tell you the complete truth, I could have, like, cheaped out and spent, like, 100 and only gotten an iPhone 11, but I really want a nice phone because this thing, it's got, like, exploits coming out for it. I really want to treat myself. I'm so excited to jailbreak iOS 27 on this thing, but for now, we're just going to take a look at stock. Here's the iPhone itself, and it seems to come in a Berga, like, women's case. Alright, after getting all the packaging out of the way, here's the iPhone 11 itself, and just take a look at the camera bar here. It's definitely pretty big if you compare it to the previous iPhones, but if you compare it to something like the iPhone 14 Pro, or even the massive camera bar on the iPhone 17 Pro where the thing like takes up the entire side of the phone, it starts to look a little small. One part of this phone's design that aged amazingly though is definitely the rounded edges it's got. Starting with the iPhone 12, they started to get these like squared off edges, which I mean they look cool, but they're really not that comfortable to hold. So having a design like this that just fits into the palm of your hand, plus the smaller 5.8 inch screen, I'm pretty excited to turn this thing on. Oh, wait a sec, it's not going to be activation locked, right? Hey, at least the phone's reset, but the performance doesn't seem so smooth. But yeah, it would be pretty boring to stick to iOS 26 on this device, so we're gonna push it all the way up to 27. Now, while I'm setting up the iPhone, I can't help but notice the larger notch these iPhones used to have. I'm not complaining about it though, I actually find it less distracting than the dynamic island on the newer iPhones. But at the same time, you do kind of miss out on the taskbar functionality it gives you, so I'd rather have the dynamic island. And a bit of time later, now we're done with setup, and just watch how badly it performs. Oh, it's actually not so bad. I think the performance could be a lot worse, though. Or actually, it kind of depends. This might actually speed up the phone, because iOS 27 is like, you know, the iOS 12 to iOS 11 jump. While we wait for this to download, why don't we check up on some diagnostics? The listing for this thing said battery health 80+, which, in my experience buying electronics online isn't always true, so let's see what we got here. 91%, damn, that's actually really good for this phone. We are unfortunately stuck with 64 gigs on this device though, and we have nothing installed on iOS 26 and more than half of it is gone. So iOS 27 has to make it better, right? No way, I was kidding at first, but it actually did. We got 10 gigs back by updating to the developer beta. Now taking a look at the home screen on iOS 27, and keep in mind this is a developer beta, it's actually really responsive. Like even stuff you would expect to lag and like take a sec to load like the App Store is still pretty instantaneous here. And for the more intensive side of apps like Maps where it's gotta like load the entire globe, it's still pretty acceptable speeds. It really does feel like I'm just glazing iOS 27 at this point, but it's that good. Okay, the software side of things here is pretty good, and it's only gonna get better when like the public release comes out, but what about the hardware on this thing itself, specifically the camera? The megapixel count is pretty much the same for every single sensor you got here, the wide, the ultra wide, and the telephoto. I'm not actually sure if it goes in that order, you know what, close enough. It's kind of hard to translate those specs into like real world performance though, so here's the recording straight from the iPhone 11 Pro camera, 4K 60 and yeah, it's a bit blurry. Now don't get me wrong, it's not like unusable or anything, but the table here compared to the recording on the 17 Pro, it's just like smoothed out, it doesn't look organic. Photos are way better on this thing though, they have the kind of detail I expect from an iPhone camera. Yeah, see, that's where I threw something at the wall. Now you do have the telephoto if you want to like zoom in on faraway subjects, but personally in my opinion those photos just like never end up looking good, so I appreciate the wide angle lens more. I think it's pretty obvious, when it comes to Apple, they took great care of this 7-year-old iPhone, but did app developers do the same? Some of these social media apps might perform well, but when it comes to stuff like the Discord mobile app, who knows? And even if those do perform well, we're gonna push this phone to its absolute limits with like some super intensive games like Fortnite. But could you imagine downloading the games on the cellular connection on this phone? I don't think it would be that fun, mainly because this phone actually doesn't support 5G. But you know, depending on how schizophrenic you are, maybe that's a bonus. Jump cut to 13 hours later, I think the phone is indexed enough for us to take a look at the performance. So we're gonna start off our test by using Blue Sky. No, I'm just kidding, I'm not using that app. We're actually gonna be starting off with TikTok, which, you know what, actually isn't much better. Now, as for the performance inside of TikTok, iOS doesn't really have like a light version that like optimizes it, so the base app here on iOS 27 on the iPhone 11, it's actually still pretty smooth. I'm trying my absolute hardest here, I'm not finding any lag whatsoever. But those videos are like what, like 15 seconds long at 1080p, so why don't we try 4K 60 on YouTube? Oh hey, by the way, if somebody who works at Google's watching, can you fix this whenever I'm trying to search up my channel, man? Oh hey, that's pretty cool, we actually do have a 4K 60 option here. I remember when I tried to do this on like the iPhone X, it would only max out at 1080p. But yeah, YouTube at 4K 60 is pretty much no challenge for this thing. You skip ahead a bunch, it catches catches up instantly. The performance has actually been pretty good so far, so why don't we just like push the phone a bit harder with Roblox. First off, let's check out Arsenal. And of course, we can't forget to push Roblox to the absolute maximum here. On those settings, we're getting a solid 60 FPS here. I haven't seen a single drop yet. Yeah, it's kind of understandable if you can't decipher all this shit here, just look up there. You know, it's not really the phone's fault for this, but I really wish it did have MagSafe so I could use this thing with like the M-Con controller. Cause look what happens if I try to use it without it. Anyway, after that, we're going to try out a way more demanding Roblox game, Redwood Prison Reworked. We're getting around 60 to at the lowest 50, which is pretty surprising because on the iPhone X, it was kind of just like locked at 45. Oh, that's cool. I'm about to get executed by a firing squad. Alright, that's enough for Roblox. The performance for Roblox was pretty good, but I do gotta admit, the side of the phone right here, it's getting really warm, so I think the phone's like getting near the point where it's gonna throttle and the performance kind of suffers because of it. Yeah, that's kind of like a recurring issue on the iPhones before the 17 Pro. Not having a vapor chamber really kind of hurts these. And it's not even just games, it's like when doing anything intensive at all, like recording 4K 60, dude. I started my channel on a 16 Pro, I had to upgrade to the 17 Pro, because like, every hour I would just have to stop filming because the thing would get so damn hot. But anyways, rant aside, I guess we'll move on to Instagram next. Similar to TikTok, the homepage works just fine here.
Buy this, retail, and get high off of it.
Okay, well thanks Instagram, I didn't know that. I kinda just want to close the app right now, but fine, I guess we'll take a look if Reels perform well. Okay. Yeah, it performs fine. Alright, next app. Now we're gonna push the phone a bit harder than Roblox with Minecraft. The reason I say push a bit harder is because we're gonna try it out on Vibrant Visuals, which actually chokes my 17 Pro, so I don't know how it's gonna perform here. Make a viral video. I'm trying, man. Once we load into your creative world, the performance is surprisingly actually not that bad. The phone's locked at 60 frames a second, and it's definitely not hitting that target consistently, but this is actually a pretty playable frame rate at like the highest graphics settings too. So wait a sec, if this performs fine, why was my 17 Pro choking up? I mean, I guess I was playing on like Minecraft Realms, but it shouldn't really make a difference. But as good as this looks, I really do prefer like a more stable game experience. Like, you know, I don't want any of those stutters, so we're just gonna switch it back down to fancy. Depending on who you ask, the game might look a tiny bit worse now, but the performance is definitely better. I'm flying around the world as fast as I can, and I haven't seen a single stutter or frame drop yet, so fancy Minecraft, pretty good. The only issue I guess like I notice is it does like take an extra sec for the stuff to load in, like there's a bunch of pop in, but it's really not that big of a deal, to me at least. Next up, we're gonna take a look at Discord. Now of course, just like every other social media app on this phone, texting out a message is really fast here, but that's not really intensive. What is actually taking a look at calls with like a bunch of people on them. Excuse me, listen up everybody, I'm a volunteer moderator of the r/socializing Discord server and Reddit, and your conduct is just really inappropriate. You gotta cut it out, alright? That's not very nice. Okay, you know what? Strike one. You're on strike one, alright?
I don't give a fuck. You ate your motherfucking moderation,
Whoa. Okay, you know what? That's strike three. You're gonna be timed out for 5 minutes, okay?
Girl, fuck you.
I don't know why they get so mad. I'm just trying to help, but yeah, doing calls on Discord like with a lot of people, like 8+, it works fine on this phone. Next after that, we're going to take a look at PUBG Mobile, which isn't the most intensive of games, but there is like settings you can crank up to max. The maximum we're allowed to put on this phone is HDR Extreme, because if we do Ultra HDR, the Extreme setting just like disappears. Alright, so with that, we're going to enable shadows and see how well it performs. And on those settings, the game is holding steady at 60 FPS, which is pretty impressive because it looks like a PS4 game. And for our last two social media apps we're going to take a look at, we're going to use Twitter and Reddit. Or we could just turn the phone off and call it a day. Twitter performs just like the other social media apps on this phone. It's very responsive. Uh-oh, PlayStation made a post on Twitter. Let me guess, the replies are just like flooded, right? Yup, it's exactly what I expected. Every single reply is about the no disc thing. You know, usually when it comes to stuff like Reddit boycotts, it's done in like a week, but this is still going on, so I wonder how long they're gonna keep this going. You know, personally, I hope it never ends until they backtrack, but speaking of boycotts that didn't work, Reddit is also really responsive on this phone, but yeah, take a look at this. It is now possible to do an untethered restore downgrade to any version on the iPod Touch 4 and the iPhone 4S. That's pretty cool. Reddit's kind of got a reputation for being like a stupid platform, but communities like these that are like really niche, I appreciate it. Anyways, so far when it comes to the app test, pretty much everything is decent on this phone, like the games included, which I was surprised at. But we still have one more game to test, Fortnite, and this is one of the most demanding games on mobile, so I don't know how it's gonna end up. There is absolutely zero chance the phone holds stable at 60 FPS 100% 3D res, and the results are around 60 to 50 FPS. I do notice a stutter like here and there, but overall, still a really playable experience to the point where I want to push it even further. This is the absolute maximum I can push the phone to, okay? We got medium preset, anti-aliasing, and the game's still at damn near 60 FPS. Okay, you know what? You win. I give up. So, that's the iPhone 11 Pro and iOS 27 in 2026. Now, everything I threw at this phone. It just destroyed. Every single social media app I ran didn't have any issues. The games, at worst, like dropped 10 frames a second, but were still completely playable. With iOS 27, the OS is surprisingly fluid. I just find this device incredible still, but it doesn't mean the phone's flawless. I do have some problems with it. One, there's no 5G support. Two is the 60Hz screen, which I guess is still a problem with like the iPhone 17e, but I just find 60 Hz kind of unacceptable today. And number 3 is the camera. Now, it's not terrible, right? But if I had to rely on this thing for filming videos, I'd be unsatisfied. It's not like I'm impossible to please, though. I've used the 14 Pro as my main camera a couple times before, and I have no problem with that. But anyways, when it comes to the value of this phone, should you buy it today? I don't think so. I paid around $200 for this thing on eBay, mainly because I went for the Pro model because I wanted, you know, the nice OLED screen, the better cameras, but if you're on a budget and you're looking at an iPhone 11, I would just go with the base model. Now, you don't get the OLED, you're missing a camera, but I still think it's the best model because you get the same performance here. Well, best model for the value at least. It's like $100 cheaper. If you aren't looking for a budget iPhone though, you got like 2 avenues to go down here. If you care about 120Hz, I would recommend the 13 Pro. That the thing's kind of like a value king. But if you don't care about 120Hz, which you probably do because you're watching this video, but if you don't care about 120Hz, I'd recommend the iPhone 16e because that thing goes for around the same price used. Anyways, thanks for watching it. Personally, I can't wait for like a USB Lighter 8 exploit to be released for this thing, me to be able to like jailbreak iOS 27, run all my tweaks. Hell, I might actually daily drive this device, but that's going to be in the future because I have no idea if the tool's out yet. Anyways, thanks for watching, and let me know down in the comments, aside from the USB Lighter 8 exploit, what other videos do you want me to make? Alright, I'll see you later.